Hi, my name is Angela Davis, and today I'm going to talk about mandatory service for young adults between the ages of 18 and 25. Remember the slogan, Uncle Sam wants you? Well, the United States Armed Forces should not have to wonder about the recruitment or the stability of their servicemen and women. There are roles that can rotate in the armed forces. Why not make them mandatory? How would you feel if your son or daughter just sat around making no progress to contribute to the future of this country? Having those family members who do serve always sacrifice by doing repeated tours overseas. How do you feel about the huge difference in the eligible 18 to 25-year-olds versus the current number of trained service men or women? What would you say to young adults who just sit around doing nothing, texting, Facebooking, weeing, not in school or working? Get a job, go to school. That would be the right thing, but wrong. It doesn't work. Government should have a mandatory requirement for service. This way, the young adult will know what their responsibility is to society and be well on their way to growing up. With the training alone, they will gain exposure to following policy and commands and learning transferable skills. One of these young people described might be someone you know, gave birth to, or soon will. Today I would like to talk to you about serving in the United States Armed Forces and why it should be mandatory for our young adults between the ages of 18 and 25 and to serve in order to maintain a stability for our country and for their futures. According to an article written by Armstrong Williams for Newsmax, each passing generation produces teenagers who are more and more brazen, disrespectful, lazy, ill-qualified for success in the real world. This is a direct result for communicating in a way that is based on technology. Thus, our society becomes more dangerous, depleted, dishonest each year. With one simple move, our government could eliminate these problems and help our children and country reach their potential. Mandatory military service, or conscription as better known, would cure many of our social ills and allow American young adults to truly reach their potential. Young adults have a hard time growing up. Leaving home and making their way can be overwhelming at times. Parents have a hard time of letting go of their children, encouraging them in responsible adulthood. The government has now added the problem by allowing parents to cover their 26-year-old children for health insurance. The problem is, what is the incentive to work if your parents are going to continue to pay the young adult's way? What could be the possible incentive for them to find their own employment with the free ride for health insurance? The new health care reform has afforded overage dependent health care, and this will result in increased claims experience for employers, which will increase the premiums for the employer and the employee. Young adults avoid difficult situations, making difficult decisions. The American education system does not teach critical thinking skills until middle school. Why should they make decisions when the parents will make it for them and continuously bail them out of poor choices? Based on the Department of Education, private schools exceed the standards of public education for giving each student the skill set required in making good decisions. In addition, there are increase of depression, substance abuse, anxiety, and ADHD diagnosis in young adults every day. I know you can understand why having a mandatory military service will give young adults the tools necessary to deal with responsibility, life issues, leave the parents' nest, seek out to find self, and contribute to society. Let me go a step further and note that other countries have mandated military service. Israel, 21 months for women, 36 months for men. Libya, 2 years in the armed forces. Vietnam, 18 months or 2 years in the Navy, just to name a few. The Ukraine also will implement this new law in 2015. This is how you would educate your child or seek more information about the armed forces and the government's responsibility to offer young adults the opportunity to grow. Talk with your family about their thoughts on the military and the discipline our servicemen and women receive as a result of the trainings. Ask your child to participate in the ROTC or Young Marines early on. Go to your local recruitment office and speak with an armed forces recruiter. Bring your child along. Find out all of the great opportunities afforded: education, specialized training, exposure to other countries and cultures. Speak with your leaders in the community and find out how to encourage young adults with independence, and solicit their support to pass the bill that would surpass any program that a young adult would enroll. This is an easy buy-in for other countries as they give their children the opportunity early on to develop responsible citizens. I only mention a few countries, but there are an estimated 31 countries that has this law in place. Mandatory military service benefits the young adult, the military, and the society as a whole. If your son or daughter joins the military, just imagine the skills they will acquire to follow through on decisions, to engage and be part of the world, not the World Wide Web. When we impede the growth of our children by holding them to a standard that is conducive to being responsible and value contributors. It is not hard to understand the need for young adults to grow and mature citizens. It is not easy, but with an armed forces that has the tools that will equip them to success, why not? I told you about other countries that they have this requirement, and it hasn't been a downfall for their countries. Talk with the armed services recruiters and ROTC instructors and find out about the benefits. What if your 25-year-old sat around doing nothing, having excuses for not doing anything? You may get fed up and kick them out. How constructive is that? It would be much easier if after high school or college that they enlist in the military and learn some discipline. America may not have a mandatory military service, but consider having this option for your son or daughter. At a minimum, give him or her the opportunity to join ROTC, learn about the armed forces, and talk with veterans. Once you learn how great our armed forces are and the benefits your sons and daughters will receive, contact your local senator and congressman. Let's put this on the ballot for 2012. Uncle Sam is waiting. Thank you.